In the next video, I'm going to show you what the settings are for all these layers. But after I made it, I thought I better give you a starter file that helps you get started more easily with these textures. So I provided the entire layer stack with the blurs that I used and the textures that I used, along with the dodge and burn layer that's just 50% gray. Now, changing the blending mode for each of these and working on each of these is simply a matter of watching the video. You don't have to replicate exactly what I did. I want you to experiment, but this is just to get you rolling. And the same thing is true over here with the other one, where you can run through and see the different textures that were applied and the strategies that are involved. So I want you to spend the time doing that. A real quick tip about using a mask: you have to click on the mask if you're going to mask something out. Let's turn that off. If you're going to mask something out, hit the letter B for the brush and then D for default colors. It's really important you're working with black and white. Now, white reveals. I'm going to hit X to swap those out, and black conceals, so that if I'm painting with a brush and then changing the size of the brush, you want to work with a round brush, and do you want it soft or hard? You have all these settings here, but you really don't need them for what we're doing here. If I hold down while, let me zoom out so you can see this real quickly. If I hold down Control and Option while I'm over the image, then if I drag left and right, I can make the brush left for small, right for large, and then down to make it really crisp edges. The hardness is 100%, up to make it soft edges. But if I paint with 100% opacity, you're not changing opacity over here. You're working with a brush. The opacity settings are up here. You want this on normal. If I paint with black here, I am going to reveal what's underneath this layer. Now I want you to understand, hit Command Z to get out of that. I want you to understand on the dodge and burn layer, you don't want an opacity of 100%. And quite often with a mask, you may not want that. You want this opacity, down somewhere around 20%. When you darken, well, I'm on this layer. I'm going to Command Z to undo that. You got to be on the layer. This will darken what's underneath if this blending mode is set to overlay. You can see how this will darken that up. See? And then if I exchange the colors and paint with white, now we can lighten. And if I click and click and click and click, we over lighten. But here's with the painting on the dodge and burn layer, the really forgivable part: if you hold down Shift and hit Delete, you can select 50% gray from this list, click OK, and you're back to the very beginning. So have some fun with this, and hopefully these starter files will get you started on the road to making very cool textures.